UK Visas and Immigration Talks. I'm Dennis, and we're going to talk about visit visas.
Yeah, so a quick disclaimer on this video or on this series. The information I'm giving is not from an immigration law point of view. I'm not an expert in immigration. I am just a normal guy giving information about knowledge that I know about these things. Of course, with experiences from friends, family, a lot of people that we've gathered around. So this is never to be taken as an expert advice of a law advice or anything that you're going to say shouldn't be used and held on that this was said and this should be done. Whatever I'm going to say is pure information gathered, and you may still get denied. Do not believe that if you do what we are going to say here, it's just an advice. If you do what we're going to say here, you are going to get your visas. No, it is just sharing thoughts with you on the best practices to do, or the best practices that will let you, get your visa. Thank you. Yeah, visit visas. This is the most applied for visa, from people from other parts of the world, especially in Africa. And people always get it wrong. They get the impression wrong when trying to apply for visas, especially visit visas. One thing you may want to look at is what is the purpose behind applying this visa. Normally, before you can apply for a visit visa, or before you can intend to visit a country for leisure purposes, most of the time, you want to prove that yes, you are okay, you can afford cost of living, and you have excesses, and that is the reason why you want to travel for holiday. Let me make it emphatic and without any equivocation that traveling for tour or for leisure purposes is not for the poor man. It is for people who have what it takes to travel and people who are well to do. These are people who have disposable incomes, and there are people who have monies that they are not spending. So you should always think about proving that you have a lot of money, or you have enough money, or you can actually afford a very good life in your home country before you intend to visit the UK. Because if you're not well to do, if you're not making enough, people in the UK or the Visas and Immigration wouldn't expect you to be applying for visa, because everybody who applies for visa to UK, and most of the time in US, is tagged, or for the basic purpose, is tagged as a prospective immigrant. So what you need to do in your application is to prove that you are not trying to immigrate into the United Kingdom. And many of you I know genuinely want to just visit and leave, but because you don't have this idea that the UK sees you as a prospective immigrant, you don't know what to do, and you don't submit convincing evidence to prove this. So we're going to talk through all of those and how to make your posture right, just so whoever is dealing with your visa application wouldn't be put under the wrong impression that you just want a visa to get into their country and never return back. So quickly, one thing you like to, first of all, get done or get out of the way is your own commitment to your home country. When I say your own commitment to your home country, you have to prove to the UK Visas and Immigration that you have stuff to do, you have good things going on in your country, you're committed in one way or the other, so you're going to return.
God bless our homeland, Ghana, and give our nation great and strong, bold to defend forever. The cause better again.
And purpose to desist, oppressive for the weak, and man forevermore. And purpose to desist, oppressive for the weak,
and mine forevermore. Fellow Ghanaians,
some of the things that we can consider when we're looking at proving your commitment to your home country is family. How old are you? If you are old enough to have a family and you have a wife, you have a husband, you have children, that is good reason to say that, or for everybody in the Western world, in the UK, to believe that yes, you are committed in a way, you have dependents, and you return to your home country. So I'm not saying you cannot travel on a visa when you don't have family, but having family is one of the best takes to say that yes, you are in a way committed by family, should I say, or true relatives. So your commitment by family, when you have a wife or husband or kids, it is very important that you evidence this in your application. Of course, in your application, you're going to be asked questions about whether or not you are married, but they're not going to tell you to add documents to show that you are married just because you're not applying for an immigration visa. If you're applying to join a spouse in the UK, you'll be asked in the final checklist to add these documents. But when they don't ask for these documents in your visit visa application, you still have to evidence it. Otherwise, it is going to come back as a refusal because there is no evidence to substantiate the fact that you are saying you have children or you have a wife. So if you have a marriage certificate, if you have any ordinance marriage, any traditional marriage, anything to evidence it, pictures, add it. If you have children, of course, you have children's birth certificate for your kids. You have to add this to your application. Don't think they will figure it out, or they will just believe you saying that you have kids in Ghana. You have to add all of these documents to your application just so you are sure that nobody will have to ask around or just assume that you are having children. And one thing is, you may not, if you're lucky, you may not get denied, you would be deferred. Sometimes they defer the application and ask. That is when your application meets the good side of whoever is assessing it and wants to just defer it and ask for further evidence. But I think they have the right to refuse you for insufficient evidence. So that's one thing you need to do. Another ties that you may want to add is, for instance, if you're not married and you are a student, you have to prove that you are a student. Just an introductory letter from your school is not enough. They want to get a chronological precedence of what you've done as a student, and obviously that's your transcript. So you can apply for your transcript, which is a very great evidence. It doesn't matter whether you have a couple of fails. No, they are not there to check whether you're a good student or not. They want to know that you're a good student. But of course, if you have too many fails that it looks like you cannot recover, it is a sign that you just want to migrate out of your country to have a better life. So if you have too many fails, as much as it's not an education visa or what student visa you're applying for, it may send a message across that you're already frustrating your studies and you may not want to return. So if you have good grades, not too good or too bad grades, and you think nothing on your transcript shows that you are a frustrated student, you have to apply for your transcript. And before I go on, let me make this emphatic that I'm not giving this information on the basis that I'm an immigration expert or anything. I'm just talking about what I know, the knowledge, and of course some experiences from family, friends, and people that I've come across, and myself. So this is not information from an immigration law background, lawyer, immigration officer, or anything. This is just me sharing information with you on this series. So when you get a transcript, that is one thing. You've not completed school, so you don't have your degree certificate or your whatever school you are in, polytechnic, whatever you are in, you don't have the certificate, but your transcript at the time you're applying shows that yes, you are committed to your studies, and that added to any introductory letter from your school is good evidence to show that yes, you are tied to your country in some way. And one thing that works normally is when you've gone far in education. For instance, if you are in a 4-year degree course and you've gone 3 years down the line, clearly it makes sense. It tells whoever is assessing you that you've already done 3 years. Many people would not leave their final year just to remain in the UK or whichever part of the world that you think you can see greener pastures. So going further in your education is better than somebody who just started uni and is just applying for a visa. It is easier for you to leave. Let me remind you again that any visa application you make, you are a prospective immigrant to the visa assessors or whoever is assessing your application. So they always want to take the boxes to make sure that there's nothing indicating that you will try to immigrate to their country and be, should I say, a burden on the country. So you may want to look at this. I'm not saying that if you're in first year you cannot apply, but you have to prove a lot more to show that yes, you return to your studies. So if you are having any portfolio, any position in school that you think is flimsy, no, it's not flimsy. add everything that makes you, I mean, a good citizen, a good student. I mean, something that commits you to your country. Yes, I know you want to return, but evidencing it is very difficult. So that's one thing you have to add to your application to make it more substantive. The another commitment, which is very profound to these guys, is financial commitments, because the only way you can prove to the UK visas and immigration or other parts of the world, I mean, I'm doing this about UK visas and immigration, but it applies to US, all the Western countries, Germany, Australia. One thing you have to consider, and that is very important, I mean, it is very crucial in your visa application, is the finances. And that is one thing, when you get it wrong, everything goes, south. Finances, you have to prove that there is enough money. As I said earlier in the video, going on a leisure trip, visiting a country for tourist purposes is not for the poor. You cannot tell me you're poor and you earn 1,000 and you're spending all the 1,000 on leisure. It doesn't make sense to anybody. It makes you vulnerable. It makes everybody think you are just spending your last money just to migrate into a Western country. So make sure it is on point. If you have your visa application fees and your finances is not on point, do not apply. You will waste your money. You will not get a visa and your money will never come back. So all the time people feel like, why don't I borrow some money into my account, put this money in the account, let it show that I have money in my account, just to let them know that I have money. No, that is not what the UK Visas and Immigration wants. So for the finance bit, I'll take you to financing yourself and getting sponsorship. It's all right to get sponsorship. For instance, if you're in school, you're not working, we expect that you'll be sponsored. And in that, they look at who is sponsoring you. So let me just pop a question. If your dad is sponsoring you and your dad's financial statements or bank statement is okay, it looks like he has some excesses to take care of you, and your dad's friend is sponsoring you, which one do you believe? You can put a session. Which one do you believe makes a lot of sense? Obviously, it's your dad. So when the person giving you the sponsorship statement or the bank account to back your application, it's your relative, it's your close relative. I mean, it gives more credence to your application, and you may be considered. But if it's a long distance relationship, for instance, if it's your uncle, if it's your auntie, you cannot even prove any relationship with your uncle. But if it's your dad, obviously their name is on your birth cert. So they know, like, look, yes, this guy comes from a good family. I mean, good in terms of finances, because like I said, you have to have money before you go on a leisure trip to the UK. So if your dad's bank statement is okay, there is excesses, I'll come back to what they are assessing when looking at the bank statement. But if you are having sponsorship from your dad, your mom, your parents, something that you can prove in your birth cert, it is very good. If you are getting sponsorship from any other person apart from your parents, or for instance, if you are a daddy and it's your son, if you are an older person and your son is well-to-do and they are sponsoring you, that is fair. Your birth cert alone, their birth cert can be added to the application to prove that, look, this is my son and he's just okay, well-to-do, he has some excesses and he's paying for me to have some holidays in the UK. That is pretty much accepted and it makes a lot of sense. But if the person sponsoring you is not your close relative, it's not your parent, most of the time, if you don't have the same surname with them, then it's good for the people to go an extra mile to prove that yes, they are that close to you. And the only way that you can substantiate this with an evidence is submitting together with the application some sensitive documents of theirs that proves that yes, they've given you access and they are willing to sponsor you. For instance, their passport bio page, they have to attach their passport bio page to the sponsorship letter they gave you. That would mean yes, the people who are in close contact with you, they trust you with their information, and it makes sense that you just didn't go out to buy in, because yes, there are where people go around buying bank statements just to attach to the application. So if you can add your passport page, if it's an ID card in your country, Nigeria, Ghana, Ghanaians have Ghana card, it's the ECOWAS card, anything that is personal, they have to attach this, a copy of it obviously, and you submit it. That makes a lot of sense to show that yes, the person who is trying to sponsor you actually has consented to sponsor you. So they are giving you stuff that are a bit personal to them. So sponsorship is allowed, but these are the things you have to look for in sponsorship. And when I'm going to treat bank statements and finances, you will get to know what your sponsor should have, and that is one thing people overlook. So let's come to what mistake a lot of people have been doing. That is putting a lump sum of money in their account before the application. That is totally wrong. That puts these immigration officers off, because already it's just like you're just trying to make up for your finances just to get a visa, and that is all. Yes, in future, if you stay tuned, and yes, if you subscribe to this channel, we'll be talking about student visas. That is when you actually required, or you are allowed to drop some money in your account for some number of days, and that is okay. But for visit visa, you have to show proof of income and expenditure. I know it sounds a lot of business to a lot of you, but it's not business. It's basic lifestyle that everybody goes through. Yeah, so they don't want you to put 50,000 cedis, 10 million naira in your account. They want to see what you earn in a month, how much you spend, and how much is disposable. So I'm going to quote a lot of a few figures for you to understand this. So for instance, let me use I'm familiar with the Ghana cedi. Let me use Ghana cedi. If you are in Ghana and you earn, for instance, 6,000 cedis, and applying for the visa, they will ask you how much you earn. So you call this money 6,000 cedis. And normally they ask you how much you earn after tax, your net, everything. So your net income, that is 6,000. So if you earn 6,000, then they will ask you how much do you spend on living, food, everything. You spend 5,000 according to you. That will leave a disposable income of 1,000 cedis. So they will ask you how much do you think the cost of your trip is to you. And that one, reasonably, looking at the fares for air travel, that's around averagely £500, £600. That times roughly, that into Ghana cedis would amount to £500 in cedis, so £600 in cedis is like, let's say 4,000 cedis. That's just for air travel. What hotel you're going to be in, if you actually have an invite, which I'm going to come on, whether you want an invite or you just want to apply as a tourist. So when the rest of the cost is, for instance, £500, that means you're looking at £1,000 for your trip, and that is even the minimum. Normally you have to look at hotels, you have to look at places you want to visit, you may do your itinerary, and that is going to cost around £1,000. So if your air travel is £500 or £600, that leaves us on the minimum £1,500. And this converted to cedis, £1,500 in cedis is over 10,000 cedis. So if you are earning 6,000 and you are spending 1,000 on everything, rent, your car, whatever you do in Ghana, you are having a disposable income of 1,000 per month. How long is it going to take you to save 10,000 cedis? And of course, £1,500 is over 10,000 cedis. So let's say it's 12,000 cedis. How long is it going to take you to save 12,000 cedis? That means it's going to take you 12 months to save 12,000 cedis. So let's be reasonable. Would you save 12,000 cedis? Would you use all your yearly savings for a 3-week trip to UK? Does it make sense to you? No. So clearly you cannot afford this trip. You're going to get denied. Let's look at the next scenario. You earn 6,000. Your expenditure, everything is 1,000 cedis in a month. That leaves you a disposable income of 5,000, and that should be evident in your bank account, because when the money hits your accounts, they want to see how the money goes and what is remaining in the account. So for instance, if in the first month you earn 6,000, you spend 1,000, 5,000 is in the account. The next month you also spend 1,000, 5,000. So in just 2 months you have 10,000 in your account. In 3 months you have 50,000. That is a very good chronology of your income and expenditure. So if you are in this position and you tell them that your trip is going to cost you £1,500, that is, let's say 12,000, and you're saving £5,000 a month. So 3 months of that expenditure is 15,000 cedis, and that is even more than how much you need. Reasonably, saving 3 months or lower for a trip, a leisure trip, is just like a quarter of your yearly savings, and that makes sense to everybody. So look at the scenario A. when you are spending all of your yearly savings on a leisure trip, and scenario B, when you are spending a quarter of your savings on a luxury trip, it makes sense that scenario B is somebody who is well-to-do, who is comfortable, who has adjustment in terms of disposable income, and they will come back to, their work or whatever they are in. So those are the things you have to look at, and this also transcends to your sponsor. If you have a sponsor and they're sponsoring you, they also want to know how much disposable income they have, because already, if I am sponsoring you, I should have income to take care of myself, disposable income for all my leisure stuff, and more to sponsor you. So even if somebody sponsors you, they don't even assess them on this basis. They assess them on like 2 times this basis. So for instance, if you who is saving £5,000 will be allowed because it's just a quarter of your income, they don't expect somebody sponsoring you to UK to spend a quarter of their, not even their income, their disposable income on you. So they should have a lot of money to say that, look, I can just ship this guy 10,000 cedis, 12,000 cedis, £1,500 to travel just because I like him, just because he's my son or he's my daughter or something. So that's one thing you have to look at. Finances should be on point. And when you are applying, they will ask you in the application that do you have any employment apart from the job you are in? So when they look at your statement and they see the records of your income and expenditure, obviously you're saving just £1,000, 1,000 cedis a month, and that will be just 12,000 cedis a year, which can or may not even afford your trip. So you may want to borrow money from people to just drop in your bank account. And your refusal letter is going to contain this phrase. It will tell you that, look, you have not proved that you can afford this trip. I'm just paraphrasing. We have seen some sources of income from in your bank or some deposits in your bank account, but you have not indicated that you have any other source of income. So that would mean you are even if you say that is your income, you are even lying, and that is a no to the visa and immigration officers. They will refuse you. So do not borrow money to put in your account just to make up the balance. Periodically, if you are okay and well to do, it has to show in your bank statement. You have to prove how your income comes in, how you spend, what is left in, and how that your disposable income has accumulated over time, and how much of that disposable income you'll be spending. So always refer, are you spending a quarter of your disposable income, half, 3/4, or you spending all? As the ratios go up, it shows that no, you cannot afford this trip and you are a prospective immigrant. So that aside, one thing that you also need to look at is gathering all of this information. You don't gather this information when you want to apply for the visa next week. You start early. Clearly, you could have money, you could be saving your disposable income in your sister's account, your daddy's account. If you want to apply for visa and you are in a state or you are financially sound, make sure you start at least 6 months. I'm also going to talk about how to evidence business income when it is not from a pay-as-you-earn source where taxes may already have been taken, because for the UK, they don't consider money that has been deposited. It is money that has been taxed. That is your income. So it's taxable income, or when you talk to revenue guys, it's a chargeable income. So make sure this money is intact in your account. So this is pretty much what you need to do. I think it's a lot for you. Whoever is applying to UK next week and don't have all of these things may want to change their mind and be more, should I say, and submit a better application. So this is good information for you. It's a lot anyway. Just go through it. If you have any question, put it in the comment box. And of course, you may want to subscribe to this channel, because we're bringing a lot on different visa categories for you, just so you don't make the mistake to waste your money on visa fees. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day. My name is Dennis, and this is UK Visas and Immigration Talks. Bye.
Introducing Roots Shea Butter UK. From the crowns of the ultimate shea nut trees in northern Ghana into whipped shea butter packaged in style for your taste. Stand up tall and proud, sink your roots into the earth and be content with your natural beauty. Our brand of shea butter called Roots is in honor of our roots and helps achieve skin and hair goals wherever you are in this universe. Shea butter has always been used over the centuries to moisturize the skin, treat skin conditions, nourish the hair, and massage the body. The skin and hair loves the added twist that Roots Shea brings into the market. Our shea butter consists of 95% of organic oil from Africa and 5% of essential oils such as baobab oil, argan oil, tea tree oil, sandalwood oil, and rose oil. It comes scented in lemongrass or lavender, or unscented. Whether you are in the Arctics, tropics, or in between, fall on Roots Shea Butter UK for your skin and hair maintenance. Roots Shea Butter, buttering your skin and nourishing your hair.